Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules. Rule number 1. No touching of the hair or face.
Of course.
And that's it! Now let's do this!
I feel like I should say something smart.
You know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him. It's Dick Liberty and Team All Things American. Powered by Hood News Global, coming to you every Tuesday night at 8. Make sure you check us out. Dick Liberty, living the dream. Follow us.
What's up, guys? Dick Liberty here. How's everybody doing tonight? We're joined by a special co-host tonight. That would be Wavy, as you know him. And he's joining us tonight because my co-host Dilly is actually just left town. Do you know why he left town, Wavy?
He left town to get
Is your stuff on? Is yours on, my man?
Hey, is this thing on?
Did you turn it on?
Let me check.
There we go. That might help increase your
Trying to
voice.
judge me?
No, nobody's judging you, but your voice is now heard.
There we go. Yeah,
All right.
So, I don't know why he left again. I know he went to shit. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm bullshitting. I'm high. Sorry. He left because his son is graduating. What was it? The boot camp?
Yes, he is
For the
graduating Navy boot camp, and
Yeah.
he graduates here soon this weekend. So Dilly and family is going up to see him and congratulate him on his accomplishment. And I gotta say congratulations, Larry, because that is a big accomplishment. I know that when you started out and you went to this thing, initially you probably had some doubts and you had some questions and you were concerned, but you drove through, you kept grinding, and you got it accomplished, man. So that is great stuff. I am very proud of you, brother, and look forward to seeing you when you take your first leave, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
America.
Well, so make sure you deliver that letter to him there, Dilly, because I wrote that for him, and I hope it finds him in good spirits and good heart right now. We also have another guest who's joining us, who's local, that Wavy happened to bring on board. You got your mic on there, Dilly? Don Dino. What is it? Barely hear you. How about now? Try that.
That one.
No, I think he's a little bit light, man. So hang on a second. Let me mess around with this thing over here.
Just get it right.
We'll get it right as we go. And anyway, he is a local, and the reason why we have locals here on the show tonight is because we're going to talk about the dystopia of Daytona. So when we get into that topic, it's going to get a little bit crazy. You're going to get a little wild, and you're going to see maybe a side of Dick Liberty you haven't seen before, and you might not be ready for it. I don't know. I hope it's not too offensive to anyone out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to
it's
step
about
up
to go
there and see if I can't get into this fix.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, shout out to Dilly.
How's that?
And,
Shout out?
and the fan.
No? I don't know, man. Maybe you have to work that around and I'll fix it as we go here.
Alright, well, what we can do is we'll just me and him share my switch.
Okay. Well, my apologies about that.
Yeah.
So,
Shit.
last week, what did we have on the show, man? We had a presidential candidate, right? Mr. Christopher Marks. He's running the Libertarian Party. We talked about a lot of stuff concerning deep state and people's rights and what's going on in this country. So we're gonna kind of expand on that, and we're gonna expand on it in the local community here and what's going on in this dystopia of Daytona. Because why? It grinds my gears. Facts. Straight up grinding my gears. I hate the drug problems. I hate the violence.
Alright, you and Don D first.
I hate the prostitution and the trafficking. Don D, what do you got to say about this stuff? How long you been in Daytona? How much of this stuff have you seen? And how's it impacted the community as you know it, and how's it come to develop?
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I've been in Daytona a while. And if you hear my voice right now, you definitely know me. I've seen it all from 89 to the present. Been here off and on, back and forth from New York to Daytona. And Daytona has always been Daytona. You know, it may be a little bit better than it was back in the day, or maybe a little bit more stuff go unnoticed now.
Right.
I mean, I don't know which one it is.
Do you think it really goes unnoticed though, or do you think it just goes unattended?
You have no idea how much goes unnoticed and unattended. Okay, because I know. Please don't even get me started.
No, I want to get you started, man. This is grinding my gears. I'm bringing it up. You know why? You know why I'm bringing it up? Because I've fought in a couple wars. I've spent plenty of time in combat. I've been medically discharged. I've got combat disabilities. And I didn't go and fight and spend all this time and sacrifice in these other countries to come home and have to deal with the dystopia of Daytona. And the dystopia of the country and the way shit is going right now. It grinds my fucking gears, man. I gotta walk outside my house, across the street, and find 5 fucking needles filled with heroin. Gotta pick, I didn't even find them actually. Dilly's daughter found them. She brought them to our attention. She's smart enough to know not to pick them up. We have to collect them and trash them. And what's going on about it? What's going on about it? You see stuff like that?
I see stuff like that on B-side. I see it on mainland. You don't see it as much on B-side. You see it on mainland because B-side's more with the tourists and everything. Okay.
Right.
The more money is being made in Daytona, the safer the area is going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If the area is not making Daytona or Volusia County or Florida any money, then it's going to go unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? That's where the south side comes in. That's where the west side comes in. You know what I'm saying? The more money spent by people coming from out of town and the more people going to jail, it raise money for Daytona for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying?
The more people going to jail, though, like you bring that up, and I'm so glad you did because dude, look, I got statistics out the fucking wazoo right now.
Yeah,
all right,
I see that.
I pulled this up. Okay, Daytona is 145% higher than the crime rate in the rest of Florida. The crime rate in Daytona, 145% higher than the rest of Florida. Why the fuck is that? Why is that? What do you, anybody? You got anything? Wavy, you just got here, right?
Shit is...
What do you think it is?
The city of Daytona and the county of Volusia gets paid for everybody being in jail. So the more people's in jail, the more money they're making, like I said before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Like when it's tourist time, locals can get away with anything. We can walk around here and do whatever we want. We ain't got to worry about police. Ain't no tourists in town. Guess who the police is after? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For the least little bit thing. Money.
Well-
That's all it is. When it boils down to everything, money.
It's costing a lot of money though. And it's costing money, and I know this because we don't have enough money we're understaffed on the police departments. We're understaffed in civil agencies that handle these kinds of issues. And then if you try to handle this kind of issue in your own neighborhood, guess who gets locked up and thrown in jail?
They got plenty. They got plenty of money to staff a whole lot more manpower when it comes to stuff like that. They just don't want to spend it.
They don't
Having the money
spend
and spending the money is two different things. You know what I mean? They want to keep that money and build on it and build on it and build on it, so they can build more jails and halfway houses and all that. You know what I mean?
I got you. Hey, I want
take all the money from the schools. You try to get the kids, try to break the cycle and keep the kids from falling into the cycle of Daytona.
I think it goes a little more than that, honestly. And I thank you. Well, let me take a second real quick and say hi to our audience members joining us. We got Dilly's joining us. What's up, Dilly? And we got Mr. Hood News joining us. Thanks, glad to have you. Thank you, old lady. I like that you're joining us. It's great. And thank you for the sound check info there, Dilly. Appreciate it. We're getting on it. We're working on it. But the point of what I'm getting at here is that, like, you have, how much prostitution have you seen? Wavy, I want to ask you these questions because you're new to the Daytona area. You're coming straight from the Hood News, you know what I'm saying? So how much have you seen and what have you noticed on this topic that we're talking about?
Reporting live straight out of the hood. I have seen all of these things in the hood, but I have not seen them done as an active daily job such as this. These motherfuckers ain't got no days off.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for joining us.
There's hotels that have real life happy endings. Like, you can check in this hotel. And
Wait. Which hotel is that? Is that the one at the end of my street you're talking about?
Oh, that one? Oh, no. Those are not happy endings.
Not
Those
for
are
any of
high
the people there, right?
It can be though. Any hotel's a potential happy ending.
Right.
Yeah, but man, I ain't gonna lie to man. In D-Land, you don't see that shit like the prostitution. You don't see that shit like that. Man, one thing about D-Land is, man, the bitches in D-Land, they just find the niggas with the money because there's plenty of money in D-Land. They just find niggas with the money and they just, hopping. But you don't see prostitution going on. Like, it ain't like, yeah, give me $80 for 10 minutes. Like,
I don't know. I'll tell you, I see prostitution going on every day, and I see it every day because you got the guys, you got the creepers, and the sleepers, and the jeepers, right? And the jeepers are the guys who like they they don't pull all the way up to the hotel. They're halfway down, quarter way down the street, which
Yeah.
is roughly in front of our neighborhood and the studio. And we see the girls get in and out of the cars. And then you have the creepers who don't give a shit and just drive up there all day, every day. And then you have the other ones, the sleepers, who are kind of in their cars waiting at 7-Eleven for her turn to come up. Basically like they pulled a number at the Publix deli and they're getting their meat, but they're
Like
just
you go
kind
to
of
a
right there.
restaurant, that shit buzzing for it's your time for your table. Like, oh, okay.
Right, right.
It's time to get my face.
And you know what? Speaking of prostitution, though, in Daytona, for rape, for example, per 100,000 people, 39.7 people are raped. The national average is 40.4. So we're literally only like in second place to the national average for those who are raped in Daytona Beach. So you haven't seen the prostitution.
Half of them is niggas. Half of them is dudes that done been raped.
Yeah, right? Well,
I believe
but that's true. That's
Sad.
true stuff.
Yeah. Hey.
And you
Talk
know,
about the facts.
the part I'm not telling you is how many of those out of the rape portion alone are kids. How many of them are underage kids? How many of them are underage kids who are involved in the trafficking that goes along with sex and drug trafficking?
And you go unreported.
Exactly.
Right,
How
right,
many
right.
go unreported?
That's the real thing. Like that's what we like when we were handling the Anaya case. That's what we're trying to tell people. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, if I would have known this was happening, or if I would have known this, if I would have known that. It's not if you would have known, because this shit happens all the time and nobody knows about it. But it's about making it aware. Maybe if it was made aware more, people were paying attention more to these type of things, and somebody would have seen like, oh nah, this ain't right, or this ain't right. But if ain't nobody paying attention to that shit, because it don't matter. That's what I'm saying. Like, this shit happens all the time, but it has to matter at some point. And then that's why I'm glad that her father has that foundation, and you know, Michael Gay is doing what he's doing, because it could have just stopped at his daughter from him.
It could have, but
It could.
you know, the sad part is that like people don't pay attention to it because, one, it's not funny and it's not getting a lot of likes on Facebook,
So
or it's
nobody
not getting a
cares.
lot of likes on YouTube, so it's
Right.
not funny. So yeah, they're not gonna pay attention to it. Two, it's just like it's like I said the other day when we were talking about, hey, what do we want to do for the show tonight? How do we want to approach this? Because we've been all over the place on different topics, and we've been covering like a whole bunch of stuff, and a lot of people have been reaching out to us, and you know, it's like, sorry, I almost got trained right there. But number two is like, there's no likes, nobody loves it, we don't talk about it. The news media stories are only the ones that are directing attention to specific issues and not actual community issues. You know what I mean? Like, it's a barrage of who's doing what at what wedding, like the royal family, and how nobody liked Markle's veil. Who gives a shit?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who gives a shit? We got the summit coming up with North Korea, and there's been dicey talk about the North Korea summit, like it may or may not happen. You know what I mean? And we have we have all these things that we're only talking about the things that are going to put the money in people's pockets, and not the American people, but the corporate people and the governmental people. That's all we're talking about. So like, when you come to see and you look at all these statistics, like for the murder rate in Daytona Beach, 13.7 per 100,000, 13.7% per 100,000. The national average 5.3. That's more than double. That's more than double the national average right here in Daytona. And didn't we give birth to the first woman serial killer, who happens to look like my mom? Crazy enough. Not that it is my mom, okay? But I'm serious, man. Like, I mean, for real, dude.
Is that my confession?
And you know, like my mom used to stay here in Daytona. She was a transient at Daytona.
Are you trying to confess right now?
No, I'm just being real. I'm being real. You want to know?
Sounds like you're about to
Hey,
confess.
by
bro.
the way, we got Ask Me Anything coming up, AMA, so you can literally, if
Ask
you're
me.
watching and you got comments and you want to say something, ask me anything. If you don't like the answer, hey, I don't apologize, because I'm just going to keep it real. So I'm not confessing shit right now. I'm familiar with the Daytona trend because my mom used to be a transient here. When I was in the service, she was a transient here. I came down here, picked her up, and moved her up to me, and she still scammed me. But whatever, shit happens, right? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, like, when I see these numbers, I'm not surprised, because
Oh, I'm
It just-
definitely not surprised.
it reminds me of my mom and the way that we grew up. Like, you got the robbery rate, 143.5 per 100,000. The national average, 102.8. The assault rate, per 100,000, 1,045.9. The national average. Anybody want to take a guess at the national average here? What would you guess? If you weren't looking at those statistics right now, baby, what would you guess that shit was?
Honestly, I wouldn't even know.
You got to talk into the mic, buddy.
Honestly, I wouldn't even know, honestly. Just to be real, like,
The
I
Nash-
wouldn't even try to shoot for it just because I seen, like, I was at work and they came in like, oh, there's some guy dead on the beach.
Oh, yeah. Well, that happens
so,
quite
So it's
frequently.
just like, you know, like, yo, shit is fucking crazy out here. Daytona is a whole different level of, like, fucking
You think you're hard,
suicide
man.
shit. Like, nah, it's
Somebody
just
said
like,
they're
it's
from
just
the
like everybody
386,
out
you
here
better
dying
watch
from
out.
some bitch ass shit. Like, everybody in the hood, you know what they dying from. Niggas out here dying from some bitch ass shit like a OD. Like, that's bitch ass shit. You let a drug
Right,
take you
right.
down. That's bitch ass shit, bro.
Let me just say something like that.
Yeah, please do, please
It really
do.
surprises me the murder and the robbery average for Daytona because, like I said, I've been down here a long time, and in my experience, most of the guys in Daytona are a bunch of bitches. You know what I'm saying? So
What do you mean by
shocks
that?
me.
Like-
I'm learning
It shocks
that.
me because I mean.
What kind of experiences have you had to make you say that they are bitches?
Oh man, I whatever illegal was done in Daytona, I had some part of bleeding. Okay.
All right.
Like Dundee, you know
This
what I
is for
mean?
entertainment
I can-
purposes. You cannot
Oh.
arrest him.
I can say some things that I'm not gonna say, but I've been here a while, okay, and I've
Okay.
gotten to a tussle or two down here
Right.
with like multiple different people. I'm by myself, and I mean it was very very easy. The point
Okay.
I'm trying to make, and you know, I mean, just the
Well,
I've
I
had
bet-
people
I mean-
pull guns on me more times in Daytona than I have in New York, and I was more frightened in New York than I was in Daytona. Like.
Right.
Have a gun pulled on me in Daytona.
I ain't
I mean,
gonna do shit.
you know, they gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? And me being from New York, who, you know, if somebody pulls a gun on you in New York, you better run, do something.
Right,
Down
right.
here, you know, maybe it's just me, but it's not very scary at all. So the murder rate to me, it's shocking, and the robbery, it's very shocking to me.
Well, what about, I
Violent
mean,
crimes,
look at the violent crime rate.
Yeah,
There-
all
That's
that
all.
is it. You know, the theft-
1,243 per 100,000. The national average for that is 386, which ironically is our fucking zip code. Or our area code when you call us, right?
You gotta break these shits down.
The national average is 386. And we, in the 386, beat that shit by 1,243.
Oh, yeah,
What do you think about that?
It's to me,
I wanna know.
it's very shocking.
I want to get deep in the statistics. I want to get deep in that shit and see, like, break down the fucking kills, and because how many is you know, I want to see how many is really, like, I mean, citizen type shit, not like fucking cop and citizen. 'Cause
Well, even if there's
You know
if
how
there's
to
a
do that.
citizen involved, it's citizen shit. I mean, that's point blank.
no, but I'm just trying to see how many people were killed, not by cops or not by nothing like that, by actual just other citizens, like.
Right, right. Well,
'Cause
these
the numbers
statistics
is-
don't have the
the
cop
numbers is
killings in
different.
them. They don't have the cop killings in them. This is the statistics for those in the general populace of this area.
So
Okay, so none of these are police related incidences. Excuse me for that. That's that cognitive dysfunction from my TBI. It makes it hard to talk sometimes. So that's why I challenge myself to get on the radio every week. But like all of these statistics, how many cops are robbing people? A lot, according to some sources. But this isn't based off of that populace. This is based off the populace of the people who live in this area. So the burglary statistics, 873.3 per 100,000. National average, 468.9. That is, that's crazy. You know why there's so much burglary here? I'd take a guess it has to do with all the mething around that goes on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Like, you sorry, messing around everywhere.
Mething around, man. Like, dude, there. It's like Fear of the Walking Dead, pre-Fear of the Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
This is how they turn.
this is how they turn. It's ridiculous. You see people
Man.
go, it's insane. They go from great, awesome, wholehearted people to just zombie droves looking for the next high, looking to increase our burglary
With bad
for
cheeseburgers.
100,000. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's probably why our theft rate is 4,937.8 per 100,000, and the national average rate is 1745. You ever been stolen from, man?
Oh, yeah.
Wavy, tell me about, all right, tell me about your experience there, Donnie D.
Oh, he said,
He said no. All right, he takes the fifth, he declines comment.
yeah, man, I've only been robbed 2 times.
2 times, that's it.
None of them were, you know.
Was it violent? Like, what happened?
Nah, they were all like when I wasn't there. They both of them.
Okay, peaceful robberies, then we'll call them.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say that.
All right, so what did they steal? Like, do you know?
Some things.
Hey, we got a comment that I want to address from Johnny V, DV Johnny Lee. He's up in the Tallahassee area. I've talked to this guy. He's a good dude. He's been dealing with issues as a vet in his area and been dealing with some law enforcement issues. And he says that his little brother's a cop, and he's had a hard time being supportive of our boys in blue. So, how does that comment strike you, Wavy?
That's you know, that's I don't want to say a lot of people, but that's more common in police families.
Yeah.
Because of the bad name that the cops are getting for the things that some cops are doing.
Right.
You know, and it's just like we say all the time, you can't say all cops, but at the same time,
We can say all meth heads, though. Get that straight.
But yeah,
But continue.
man, but yeah, it's just like I get it, and no matter what, one thing I will say, no matter what, you always gotta support your family.
Right.
If you don't agree with what they're doing, it's
Hey,
okay
Jay,
for
welcome.
you to. I mean, like you said, it's okay for you to say, admit that I'm having a hard time, you know, supporting the boys in blue, even though my family is one because of the things that are happening, things that are going on, the bad names that they have.
Right.
And who knows? Not, you know, no disrespect, but maybe he knows his brother is one of them cops. So maybe that's what I'm saying. We don't really know.
No, we don't. But here's the point of what he is saying, though, is the fact that, like, he can't be supportive in blue, and if there's a lot of cop families who cannot be supportive, are members of the families in who their partners are cops, or the dad's a cop, or whatever the situation is, and they can't support them. What does that tell you about that situation? It kind of tells me it's like the military in a sense, because you have these guys who are working in these hard conditions. They're always on stress, you know what I mean? Like, just totally stressed out at the highest working capacity they could be. And I get it in a sense. So yeah, I could be an asshole if I had to see all the negativity and all that bullshit all day. And it could turn me off. And I know I'm underworked because, let's face it, other people aren't doing it. And they're not going to stand up to do it. So, you know, they can bitch about it all day long. They can talk about it. And they can be the armchair quarterback, but they ain't playing the fucking game. So the point is like, they got to, not only that, but how many of them do you think have to deal with corruption? Like, within their own departments. I was reading a story to you today about CSI forensic person up in the Panhandle area was stealing drugs out of the drug
building?
No, the evidence locker. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, what the fuck is that about? You know, how much corruption is there? We got viewers like Jamie Sparks. She used to work for the police office and did 911s and did dispatch and did all this stuff. And she can tell you all kinds of stuff about corruption in the force and how people are asked to take this and keep their mouth shut and the bribe money and the hush money. And it's ridiculous, you know? How many corrupt politicians have we talked about? How many corrupt charity organizations we talked about? Hell, our very first show, we fucking blasted a fraudulent what was his name? Chris Blake? Yes, Christopher Blake, Hurricane Blake.
What a fucking clown.
And, you know, that office he said he had in Daytona Beach, which was right over there at the Day Wellness Spa? Yeah, it ain't there. He moved it to somewhere else, and then he moved it somewhere else. So, like, it's everywhere.
No,
you know?
but back on that cop thing, see, he cleared it up, and that's really, like, the thing. That's the whole point. He says that he supports him, but not his peers that are corrupt.
That's
and
right.
That's the thing. That's why I say it's more common in families, because some families
I want to get rid of the corrupt, though.
Have cop members in their family, and they're fucked up cops, and that's why they don't like cops. Plus all the shit that's going on, you know. So, but like he said, you know, he doesn't respect his peers and that are corrupt, and everybody feels that way. Nobody likes the corrupt cops, of course.
Well,
Because
now we're getting more
ones
comments
that
coming
give
in.
them the
It's
bad
like
name.
Jamie's telling me how she's lost her kid from a cop situation and how she was told to her face either bury another cop and lie or stand on the stand or lose my kid and I didn't lie, so I lost my kid. Like, that's a bullshit situation.
Yeah.
That is a bullshit situation.
That's terrible.
You know? Like, why? Okay, I love it that we live in a country that is free as long as we do what the government pleases. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, as long as we do what the government wants us to do, we're free. But the second that we don't do that, the second that we voice our opinions, look at Donald Trump, for example. He is the epitome of shaking shit up and being different and everything else. He's taken Reagan to a different level presidency platform. You know, maximize his resourceful tools. Doesn't mean I agree with him with everything. Yeah, he's getting some shit done. But I don't think he's getting everything done the way it should be done. However, like, he's executing it brilliantly and people are following it and people are staying on it. And he's actually getting some results. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Shit is crazy.
So it is crazy.
Yeah.
And how much is that? Oh, wait a minute. Now we say, no doubt he does. You talked about that. Now they are after him. Who? Hey, DV Johnny. Who's after him? Like, what is your belief and what makes you believe this? Who is after him?
Wait, and clarify who is him. Who is you're talking to?
Yeah. And if you're listening on a radio and you want to call in, our phone lines are open. It's 386-682-7278. It's 386-682-7278. Or you can call 386-400-2244. You can speak to Dick Liberty himself. You can speak to Wavy. You can't speak to Dilly because he ain't here. But we'll let him know you called and take a message, all right? But like this stuff here, it pisses me off because it says the DOJ is all over Donald. Okay, he's talking about Donald Trump, and the FBI and the DOJ all over Donald Trump. Yes, that's right. But he is not going to have to actually submit anything. And I'll tell you, Mayor Giuliani, he's kind of a genius when it comes to this, and he's got it well played. So I don't know. You can take it for a grain of salt. I think it's a misdirection. I think there's more going on here. And I even think this whole skeptic thing on the DZ talk and the DMZ talk for North Korea and the summit is kind of like something to over the top it, you know what I mean? To make it like this super political, oh yeah, we won type thing. Like basically a show. But not to get too distracted. And I'm about to sue the cop. Okay, from Jamie, she was telling us about how she lost her kid because she wouldn't lie on the stand and basically bury another cop, throw him on the bus. And now she is going to sue him because that cop arrested her falsely. So, like, we hear these stories, and then we see on Facebook, like, did you see that post where I put out today where that asshole cop pulled over a railroad worker and like basically tried to arrest him and everything else when the guy was totally legit?
Nah, they repeat that.
It was white on white crime, man. That's a rarity.
White privilege.
White privilege crime. It's a rarity. But not to get too distracted. No, another cop. Not to get too distracted, I gotta tell you, man, I'm fucking pissed, and my gears are grinding about these statistics in this area and what we like fight for and come home to and can't do shit about, because the second we raise our hands and stand up and talk about our actual rights, we get shut down and intimidated and everything else. So just so you know, if you're listening, and I know we got one listener in every country on the planet, so if you're listening, you visit Daytona, look us up. We'll make sure you're not part of the 170% higher than national crime average when you visit Daytona. Okay?
We'll tell you where to go.
We'll tell you where to go. We'll tell you what to check out, man. So what do you think about other shit? Like, let me add this. This is how I feel, and this will sum it up pretty good. Did you know on this day in history, in 2013 to be exact, Venezuela tried to end a toilet paper shortage? It was a crisis. It was a national crisis. Toilet paper shortage.
That would be a crisis.
I think that we have a toilet paper shortage in the dystopia of Daytona, and we need some shit to clean this up. That's what I think. I don't know how we do it. Well, I do know how we do it, but the law won't be too happy about that, so I don't
ain't
get
never had no
persecuted.
toilet paper. I just get in the shower.
That's why God made sleeves and socks, though.
So
You know, you can
long
just
as
take
they
them
have-
off and use
long as
them.
they- long as they have running water, they have no toilet paper. So why they be my toilet paper, man? As long as they got running water, they alright.
Well, I
Wrench
mean,
around and wrench it off.
Wrench around. Wrench around.
wrench around and wrench it off. That's a tip for you guys if you didn't know. But no, I think we got a shortage of shit paper here. I think we got a shortage of shit paper to clean all this shitty stuff up. All the messing around heads, all the prostitutes, the pervies.
And it's crazy. You
The
know,
pedophiles.
People that came down here on vacation really knew Daytona. I don't know. You might have a what do you call it? A tourism issue.
A tourism issue,
And that's
yes.
something we don't need down here, especially being in the service business myself.
Right. I don't want a tourism issue. I want tourism to flourish. I want to clean this shit up. I want groups like have you heard the stories and the rumors of these certain phantom groups out there who do these cleanup issues? Have you heard these things? Have you heard these stories?
I have not.
No?
Have you?
Yes, I have. I've heard a great story.
I have not.
I've heard stories of groups of people, and they go out, and they follow, and they watch, and they make sure that they have the evidence. And when they find that you were the wrongdoer, they will hook you up with something you don't want. And I promise you that.
Hook 'em up.
Hook 'em up! That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to found a Patriot Club.
And just so all you know, we are not trying to become cops.
No, we don't want to be cops. The
No.
cops have a hard job. I don't want anything to do with it. I mean, the only thing that I want to do with a cop is nothing, because he needs to do his job. You know
I
what I
want
mean?
all of nothing to do with it.
Yes, I want all of nothing to do with him. He needs to focus on his stuff. I feel bad for the police, though, because they're understaffed and they're overworked, and
They still manage to have
ev-
time to do dumb shit.
yeah, you're right. But so does everybody. The point of what I'm getting at, being understaffed, overworked, working in those environments where you have a violent crimes rate in Daytona Beach that's 222% above the national average, that lays some fucking stress on you, bro. You might not think so, and people say, oh, I'm hard, I'm a man, and blah, blah, blah. But when you see death, destruction, gruesomeness, OD, stupidity, and just blatant ignorancy every day of your life, that's a hard thing to keep all that negative out, bro. Like,
You're right. But you know what though? I hear that a lot, that they're overworked and underpaid. But honestly, every time I ride down the road, there's a cop sitting on the side of the road on the computer, and them motherfuckers be there for the longest. So I get it. You know, it's like everything. Some days it's a rush and it's all day work, and some days it's just kickback. But you know, it's just like
you understand that the cops and the police departments, they're separated by levels, no different than a drug organization is separated by levels. You get that, right? I'm sure you do.
understood.
So you got your street beat guys, the ones who sit in their car and do all that shit, and your responders for domestic stuff and stuff like that. Then you got your street guys and your narcos and everything else. Point of what I'm saying is, everybody in each department, especially the critical departments where it requires a little bit of fancy and a little bit of technical knowledge and a little bit of understanding to get to, is understaffed. It's way easier to be a patrol beat cop than it is to be an undercover narco or someone who's dealing with street level shit and missing persons and homicides and missing children, which I've had my personal experience with. You already know that. So those guys are the ones who are staffed. Those guys are the ones that are paid. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what.
Switch mic to him. So
I'll tell you what. Okay, this is Don D. This goes out to Daytona Beach Police Department. Y'all give me $100,000 and I will clean up Daytona completely for you. Okay, I can do it. Believe me. That is all.
You heard him.
hey, I'll
Just
join
a
your
light
team.
100,000.
I'll join your team for 10%.
Just a light $100,000.
Light 100,000. Just a light 100,000. I go get them all and lock them all up
And
for
when
you.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Listen,
Hey, we gotta update. Go ahead.
we ain't turning nobody in.
No,
Y'all signed up for this shit. right?
no, we ain't turning nobody in. It don't work that way. Cause we got to overload on the fucking prison system, man. That's real talk.
Yeah.
But all right, so we got an update from Jamie as she comes. She says, "I have him on film in reference to her case and the reason why she lost her child and did not lie." She says, "I have him on film actually putting his hands on me last December when I was assaulted, and he refused to take report. I called him out. I filed a report, and another officer then." I blasted him on Facebook and YouTube. All of his videos of harassment over 2 days, and 3 days later, I was arrested out of the retaliation by the sergeant I blasted. This is why I'm running for governor in Indiana. I am going to address abuse of power across the board. Police, CPS, and judges. It's so bad. I deal with this all the time. I live that life and I don't act that way. I deal with abused kids and killed children. Essentially, she's the activist in Indiana who reached out to us when we got started on this, and after the Michael Garrett story that Hood News Global broke. The first radio station to break this story. It's a tragic story. It happened with, Mr. Garrett and a 4-year battle that he had to deal with and could not get any victory upon, that ultimately cost him the loss of his daughter. And that's tragic. It's horrible. And why? Because he couldn't exercise his right as a legitimate parent. And then you listen to the 911 call, and the boyfriend doesn't even know how to address the call and starts lying, and the mom comes on and makes up a totally different story about food poisoning and lobster bisque and Red Lobster and all this shit. And it's all bullshit. All bullshit.
Yeah, that was horrible, man. That was, we were definitely honored, that we got to break that story, but that was just like a horrible thing because you see, it was like, this happened, the day before? They were supposed to go to court.
Yeah, the day before.
And, this guy had been doing everything that he could, got all his ducks in a row, and, he has his daughter on video even saying, she doesn't want to go back with mom, she wants to stay with daddy, blah, blah, blah. And it's just sad to see that this man did everything the right way, played all his cards right, and still lost the game. Like, bro, he lost a child. You can't, it don't get much worse than that,
It doesn't, man. So
being a parent, like, you feel that. So it's just like, man.
Even being a parent that it doesn't happen to, but like I've had the privilege and the honor to talk to Mr. Garrett. I've spoken to his team a couple times. Like I said, I personally express my deepest condolences and apologies in the fact that he was not able to join us as we had said he would. That was a terrible incident that really pisses me off. And those of you know who you are, the sponsor that backed out after all that bullshit. I want nothing to do with you. I wash my hands of you. As far as I care, you can eat a dick, and Dick Liberty said that, so fuck off, okay? That was shitty and horrible, and as far as I'm concerned, I got nothing to do with you. You suck. And so we're gonna bring him back, because it is important to us, and it is an example of what's going on in this country. Not just with fathers, like you've heard Dilly talk about his instances. I know another guy who's gonna be dealing with some stuff, and I know a guy who's dealing with other stuff. It's fucking horrible, okay? And
Jamie Sparks also says eat a dick.
Yes. Well, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. The point of what I'm getting at is, like, you look at these statistics in Daytona and you compare them to the corruption rates and you compare them to what's going on and the underlying rift that is taking America right now. And we talked about this, like, I said this in the last show and I said in the show before that. I don't think that we're on the verge of your typical revolution, like you picture an American-style revolution with the T-tax.
Right.
But the tax is an issue, and there is a revolution occurring or beginning to manifest that's not going to be seen on TV. It's not going to be a war bloody one. It's going to be kind of like the Obama's on Netflix and Democrats fighting Republicans over that shit. You know what I mean? Point of what I'm getting at, it grinds my fucking gears. We talk about the lack of shit paper crisis here in dystopia Daytona. Is there a national shit paper crisis?
I think it's just a lack of toilets. Like, there's not enough places to put all these pieces of shit. There's just not enough places to put all these pieces of shit.
So what do we do with them? I mean, like, you got that woman on the Facebook that I saw the other day I put out, and she's just recording and making it a mockery for her son, who couldn't be, more than 5 or 6 years old, just jumping up and down in the car screaming, yeah, fuck you, bitches, and blah, blah, blah. And she's laughing, and it's encouraging, and think it's all the greatest thing ever.
And that goes.
And then you flip that over to the Dino D. Yeah.
That goes on a lot more than you think. I personally know people let their kids, curse and say whatever. And it goes on a lot more than you think. And
no, I know it does. Like, what do you feel about it though? Like,
me being from the old school, I think it's appalling. I mean, some of the things these kids say. If I say that an eighth of what they say, I wouldn't be here with you today.
Yeah.
Because
I'm glad you brought up
parents
fractions. You
and
know why?
People I grew up with it would have been trouble.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
wow.
you know what happened to me one time? And you brought up an eighth, you know, and did you know that like three out of 5 people don't understand fractions? So 3 out of 5 people right now might not be understanding what we're talking about. Anyway, that's a joke.
It's just math, guys.
Point-
Just sticking around.
Yeah, just digging around. Point being though, is like he's absolutely right. When I was a kid, you know, okay, go pick a switch. And I'm like, oh, cool, I'm gonna be a smart ass. I'm gonna pick the smallest switch possible and it's not gonna hurt. So what did my mom do, as awesome as she is, she made me grab my chain link fence and then spread my legs about shoulder width apart, not even, maybe half a shoulder width apart. And then she took that switch and she whacked that shit in between my Achilles tendons so goddamn hard I couldn't walk for like 3 days. So, yeah, it was. Am I saying that was the best way to discipline your child? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But what I will say is that the fact that we can't even discipline our children anymore is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
Hands up.
but you know what's so stupid about that? They don't want us to discipline our kids, and then I read something that was like, they wanna make it so the teachers are allowed to discipline the kids again, and I'm like, hold up, so I can't discipline my kid in public, but somebody else can? Oh hell no, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for it. Mm-mm.
Right.
Hands down, not happy. And it's just stupid, like the way they try to reapply the things that they take away from you. So it's like it's just like when you see somebody saying like they can do something that you can't do. Like, nah, if you can do that shit, I can do it too. Like, what the fuck? Like, so I don't know, man. It's just weird to see these laws and what they say that they're thinking about, starting. And it's just like, come on, bro. Like, these are all the things you said we can't do, and now you're trying to do them to us.
Yeah, right. And they're like, oh, you can't do it, we can do it. No, I can do it, and it's ridiculous if I can't. Like, who are you to tell me how to raise my child?
Yep.
Who are you to tell me how to raise my child?
I'll fight that to the death.
Some people's kids just need ass whoopings.
My
Like,
point
some
exactly.
people's kids just need ass whoopings. They don't
Okay.
need all that talking you doing. They just need a little ass whooping.
Yeah, exactly. My point being like, okay, so I'm sure if you're a guy and you've been in the military, you can fucking relate to what I'm about to say. You can definitely relate to what I'm about to say, okay? And I say that because the first fight I ever got into that I can remember I think it was elementary school. Yeah, I did. I wasn't always the best, but I got this fight guy, and me and this guy, we fucking duked it out. Nobody won or lost. It was just straight hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting until we got broke apart. Then we're sitting in the office. We don't even remember what we're fighting about. We're talking, we're joking, and we became best friends for like, I don't know, fucking 4 years till we moved apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, has that ever happened to you?
Aww. That sounded very sweet.
It wasn't a gay thing, you fucking asshole.
No, it wasn't
The
gay.
point-
It was just sweet.
The point of what I'm saying is that, like, sometimes you need that thing just to generate a little understanding of respect.
Yeah.
Like, straight up,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's true, because it's always like you always have to draw the line. Like, it's like when you meet new people. Like, yeah, you're like, all right, I want them to know I'm cool and shit, but I just don't want them to cross that line. So
Right.
And just, put it all out in front of shit. Like, the same way with the kids. Sometimes you gotta let them know, like, hey, listen, I'm not playing with your ass. I'm gonna let you know I'm about to whoop your ass in a minute.
Yeah,
And
no,
you might talk to them one at a time. But after that, you need to whoop that ass so they know you're not just talking.
You
Because
do.
Just
You do.
talking only goes so far. Once a kid figures you out, like, okay, they're just gonna keep telling me, I'm just gonna keep fucking doing it. Then what's gonna stop that kid from not listening to you every single time?
The fact that, did someone say gay? Yes, I said gay, Dillian. Sorry. And I don't know why, but I just said gay.
Wait a minute, what?
That wasn't gay. It wasn't gay at all.
It was
Okay.
stupid.
It was stupid, yes. It was stupid. Hey, so we got comments coming in, and Jamie says that, oh, say whoop that ass to your kids, and CPS would take them for sure. Basically, she's telling me that
CPS ass too.
Yeah, CPS tells kids to call the police if your parents spank you. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
That's the kind of bullshit that makes the government money. That's the kind of bullshit that makes.
Yes, it does.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, any of you guys watching out there and listening, if you want to ask us something, ask us. Straight up. Ask me anything. Ask us anything. Right now. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna address it. It's gonna get real.
Wait, Dilly, are we not allowed to say gay?
I don't know.
I thought we were allowed to say whatever the fuck we want on this radio, man. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, Dilly, are you not playing?
There's fucking restrictions down. Let me read that fucking paper.
This ain't the FCC here. This is
Sign
internet
for this
radio.
shit.
Yeah, bitch. We're getting way off topic because my gears are grinding and this dystopia shit's pissing me off.
We told you we're getting wild tonight.
And basically, I literally, like, there are days where I literally, okay, bro, Hulk mad, Hulk smash. Here's the deal, man. I'm walking to goddamn 7-Eleven, right? It's really a pain in the ass when you got a convenience store that's literally like 50 yards from your house and you spend way too fucking money, okay?
Like 6 little junkies.
Like, I could skip there and be considered gay if I wanted to.
There it is again.
And I got nothing against gay people. Some of them are cool, as long as you don't push it on me. Anyway, so what was I talking about? I don't know. Going to 7-Eleven, and what happened? Damn it, I lost. Oh yeah, I was so mad. Hulk smash. So I'm walking to 7-Eleven. There's this fucking car that pulls up. This car pulls up and says, hey, you like to park? Oh, we got a call coming in. Hang on. Let's see who this could be. I gotta learn how to. Hello, you're on the air with Dick Liberty. Thanks for calling.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's DV, Johnny Lee.
Hey, what's up, DV? Johnny Lee. Thanks for calling, man. I'm glad to have you on the show finally. I'm glad you caught it, bro.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to finally be online whenever y'all are broadcasting.
What do you think? Do you like the broadcast? We're trying a bunch of different stuff, and I'm kind of learning this as we go, so we hope it looks good.
Where you from, DV?
Yeah. Where am I from?
Yeah.
I'm originally from Panama City Beach.
Okay.
Oh,
But I'm
nice.
not in Crawfordville, Florida now.
Crawfordville.
Crawfordville. Never heard of it.
So can you draw us a picture of Crawfordville so our listeners can understand the environment that you're about to talk about?
It's on the outskirts of Tallahassee and the Appalachia National Forest.
Oh, nice. And that's kind of close to Jacksonville, right? Tallahassee, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of dumb.
Big Bend.
So,
here at the little Gulf Coast or Tennessee.
right. So why'd you call, man? What's grinding your gears?
I figured you said that y'all was talking about anything. So
Yeah.
I figured I'd suggest a topic that I think is pretty interesting.
Well, shoot away, man. Let's get it.
Government mind control.
Government?
I just read this article last week.
Okay. Do you know the name of the article?
It's in Popular Mechanics. I can get it and post it on the show.
Sweet, that'd be awesome.
Right into it.
Okay. Cool.
But basically, the gist of it, since the 1970s, they've had the capability to have full, like, voices go into your head, basically. Like, they somehow match whatever transmission frequency, like, say, your radio.
So they're matching your brain frequency, your alpha wave or your beta wave or your delta wave?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
So maybe when you're asleep, your brain is more susceptible to being, controlled by these frequencies, and that's why we got those guys out of Cuba, mind you. And they were playing like these little sounds, and they were making people get really nauseous, vomit, and just all kinds of crazy conditions.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. The government, I believe it's the Army also has one of those, puts out like this radar thing that like makes you drop to the ground and your fucking stomach's all fucked up. And yeah, I've seen that, man. I actually seen them test that. Yeah,
I think the things he's referencing is there was a story, I think it was maybe last summer or last September, where in Cuba, Americans who are working at the embassy there were having illnesses and stuff like that they believed were sound wave generated and submitted that way.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think you guys are referencing basically the same thing. And you brought up a good point with that. With your mind operates at a different level when you're asleep versus when you're awake. So
well, let me go a little bit further with it.
okay.
say, for instance, the music you listen to, there's certain things called like what's it called, neural beats. They have certain, ways to manipulate your mind to make you happy, sad, but they want you to be scared. That's what they want you to be, living in fear.
Okay.
And I just basically disconnected from the news recently. I know there was a school shooting today. I'm not gonna really focus on that shit. I think we need to we don't even need to broadcast that shit. If there's a national school shooting, we don't need to broadcast that, man. That way, but they were just feeding into it.
Yeah, but that's the way the system works here, man. Like, what are we supposed to do about it? How do you recommend that we do something to change it?
We need to first hush them out, black them out. Don't make them think, they think it's glamorous.
Right.
They want their names
Exactly.
to live on them. I don't know.
You got a very good point there, man.
First, we need to de-glamorize it. We need to take them out to the media, and then we just need to arm every school to the T. And if you come in their arms, you're gonna get ready to deal with the consequences.
Now, do you think that it's a good idea to employ some of these veterans in this place as far as for arming these schools and making these schools safer?
You know what? I honestly know that a lot of veterans aren't necessarily as stable as others.
Right.
I do think that
Welcome, Tom.
what other job, would be suited for a vet.
Okay.
If the vet's mentally, physically fit, why not?
No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. You're right. I think I don't know that we're necessarily being mind controlled in the sense that a conspiracy theorist might present it. I think that there are a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of, when it comes to how much of the news media is really addressing the things we need to know, not much. That topic was brought up by our co-host and special guest, Wavy from Everyday Hustle. That's on Saturday nights at 8 on Hood News Global. How much of it is real? How much of it is fake? How much of it's used for distraction? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. There was a presidential, some kind of
Thanks, Dylan.
presidential amendment that Trump signed, executive order. What did he sign over the weekend when all this shit was going on?
Yeah.
The royal wedding.
Oh, the royal wedding was going on. What executive order did he
Yeah.
sign? Do you know of?
Let me look it up. I know Trump signed some executive orders over the weekend while we were watching the royal wedding. I don't know exactly what they entailed.
Okay. Well, while you do that, I'm going to continue my grinding gear story and this shit about, the thing that pisses me off right now is the fact that I go ahead and I walk to 7-Eleven, okay? And it's fucking not far. And as I'm going there, I see, a car pulls up alongside of me and rolls the window down. And then he says, "Hey, man, you like to party?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. Do you take 9 mil?" And the motherfucker hauled ass, right? Because, no, motherfucker, I don't want to party. And if you're stopping me, that tells me you're stopping my fucking kids when they're out here and I'm not out here. I see you stop my kids. I can't say that it's going to end up bad for you. It's going to end up bad for you. My kids don't want to party. I don't want to party. You know what I'm saying? So, you experienced that shit where you're at, bro?
You know what? I experienced something like that last week, actually.
Tell me about it.
I was walking home from Winn-Dixie. I live not even a quarter mile from the store. And a truck pulls up to me and asks me where I'm, where I'm going. It's like, where your fucking business, man?
Right. It was just a regular looking truck.
Well, yeah, it was a regular truck, but I think it was an off-duty cop.
Right. Okay. And then what happened after
When
that?
I was walking, there's a guy that lives right there, and they watch the area like a hawk. It's like it's a crime to walk in Will County.
Right. Okay. Well, that sucks, man.
Yeah, they watch a lot of people. I guess are still around here. They're looking out for a bunch of meth heads, fucking breaking into shit.
Well, yeah, I get that, man. We deal with that shit on the daily around these parts, man. I've only had my house broken into one time, and that wasn't here. That was up in Georgia. I would hate for somebody to break into my house now because I promise you, they're not gonna leave. It's not gonna happen.
I used to leave my door unlocked just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case what, man? Just in case what?
Like in case someone wanted to be stupid and play the game.
I mean, I feel him. I always said, you can get in, but
you get super prizes.
Yeah, right. Come on in. Like, that's so funny you bring that up because we've talked about it, Wavy and I, sitting on my back porch, where like, hey, we'll go ahead and put the red lights in the doorway. That way we can, basically have a blue light on the back porch. So when you come in the back porch, you get the blue light special. You know what I mean? We're tricking you to come in. Say, hey, we're not armed. Yes, we are. We want you to come in. I get scared nowadays being a single mom and living alone. Well, you know what, Miss Sparks, I understand that, and I totally get it, you know what I mean? The ladies back in the day didn't have to deal with this kind of stuff, and now we got to deal with it every day.
Ladies back in the day also used to carry a little pistol in their purse, so I suggest you get a little pistol for your purse.
Yeah, sure, pistol purse would be great. What do you think about the pistol purse, Stevie? Are you for the pistol purse, or are you against the pistol purse?
I'm having a hard time hearing over like all the voices.
Oh,
so
I
I
apologize.
can't really make out.
We were going a little fast there.
We are actually.
Okay.
You switched up the tone of voice, I think we tricked them.
Yeah, I think so. We were just joking around, dicking around as we like to call it. And,
Well, I'm just gonna get up off here, guys, but I'll be over here listening.
well, hey, man, I really think that thank you for calling in. It's great to have you. We hope you like the show. We've been trying
Thanks
to...
for having me.
Yeah, no worries, man. We've been trying to change it up. We've been trying to bring some new feels to it, new looks to it. And, I want to show you the real side too. Like, yeah, we're serious, but we like to have fun. And it's sometimes you can't always have fun, so we want our listeners.
I'll make sure I share y'all's podcast.
Hey, thanks,
Sure,
man.
get some viewers.
Means a lot, dude. Appreciate it much. You stay safe up there. Stay out of trouble, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Peace.
All right, you take care.
All right, man. You too. So that was great to have a guest caller, and it's cool, man. We encourage you guys to check us out. We encourage you guys to call in. We want you guys to interact with us. We want you to ask us anything because we're going to tell you how we feel. We don't care. That's the real deal. That's the way it is. We're going to talk about real issues, how they're really affecting people, and not all these creative distractions that we always have to deal with.
I want to address Jamie. What is this pink lady? I thought we were talking about guns.
Praise God, I own Pink Lady.
I thought we were talking about guns.
Hey, Dilly says thanks for the call there, Johnny DV, just so you know.
Dilly-o! Where the heck? Hey, we need a Dilly update. You need to call in.
Yeah, Dilly update. How's it going, Dilly? How's the drive? What's up? Are you driving through this shitstorm weather? I'm sure you are.
Sorry, Jim.
Why did you bring up a vibrator? Nobody said vibrator.
I think I was kind of thinking towards that. That's what it felt like when she said pink lady.
Oh, the pink lady, like the magic bullet, huh? That kind of thing. Hey, speaking of vibrators and sexual jokes, not that we actually spoke of it, we're digging around.
We are now.
We are now. What do you call two lesbians on a rag?
What do you call it?
Finger painting.
Obviously. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, totally. Please forgive me. Hear any great drinks?
Oh, a little bit of rain, huh? A little bit of rain. Well, we got a little bit over here too, so don't feel bad. We're getting rained on together, brother.
You heard any great jokes lately?
What?
I said, have you heard any great jokes lately?
Oh, that's actually if you did any drugs lately.
No, why would you do any drugs lately?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Bang! Bang!
Just exploded.
So, dude, what's been grinding your gears, man? I talked about my shit, the dystopia of Daytona, and like I'm really sick of the you know what really pisses me off, and it really bothers me. This really bothers me. Like, I know how bad sex trafficking is. I know. I've seen it. I've been very well educated in it. Not that I've actually seen sex trafficking and been at a sex trafficking site or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I've seen how the stories develop. I've seen how they've occurred. I've had the scare of our own similar thing. I didn't know, but it's so sad and it bothers me because it's everywhere, and it like South Daytona Beach has got a high level dude sitting around out there. I'm pretty sure they know where it's at. If they don't, well, they're fucking really stupid, and I want to give them more credit for that. But the point of what I'm saying is like, you have daily drug mule runs every single day. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
You've seen them, right?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Every damn day. Every day. It's ridiculous. And you bring it to the attention, and you talk about it, and you say, why isn't that being addressed? Hey, welcome, Alan. Thanks for joining. And Jamie is talking about this is a great show tonight. Hey, thank you. We're glad you like it.
Hey.
Hey, yeah.
They like the wavy.
I think they like the wavy. Yep.
Nah, but yeah, man. So is her next comment to what we're talking about now, saying CPS and family courts are a huge factor in this?
Right.
Because that's a scary thing to even think about. Like,
why is that scary to you?
I mean, well, it's realistic, but it's still scary. It's a frightening thing because it's like, these people are really taking people's kids to make money off them doing it this way. And it's not just like the regular bullshit you see where they take your kids and give them somebody else to get money and your kids grow up in a fucked up home where people don't care about them, they just collect the money for them every month.
Right.
You see that fucked up shit, and fuck, you always just want to do what you can to help somebody like that. But to see that the government actually has these organizations that actually take kids from their parents so that they're no longer have no rights to these kids and then do what they want with them. That's fucking crazy, bro. Like, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, man.
It doesn't make any sense. And I'm sure you saw that comment by Dilly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dilly.
Sex trafficking and selling kids. So, Jamie, what do you know about sex trafficking and selling of kids? And
Jamie,
have
you
any
might
of
as well
your
call in.
Yeah, like have any of your cases involved sex trafficking and selling kids? Like, I've read stories about CPS and how they've basically forfeited documents and falsified certificates and other things like that. I know that there's some sex trafficking in a hub, probably a central location hub in Orlando. I'm pretty damn sure. And that's just based off an intel survey that I've done on my own, independently, not backed by anybody.
I know they got one in Tampa.
Okay.
It's like big.
Tampa is a global shipping port, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
We have lots of kids that just disappear after they get rights terminated. After the parents get the rights terminated, they disappear. I'm assuming.
It's like nobody can find this kid or these kids at all, at all.
Well, yeah, some of them are hidden. Some of them are done in different ways that.
No, I'm saying once they take the kids and the parents go to look for these kids, these kids can't be found anywhere.
No, I've heard of that. I've definitely heard of that. And there's a case going on right now that's down in Brevard County of a woman who doesn't have the support she needs. She doesn't have the ability to pay and the funds to pay. She is looking for pro bono. If any attorney out there is listening right now and wants to help this lady, get in touch with me. Email me. CAG@digliberty.com. Go to the website, www.digliberty.com. It's on there. You'll find a way to contact me. You can subscribe to the list. You can look at the live feed. You can do all kinds of cool stuff there. But you need to get in contact with me. Go there. The numbers are up there. Emails are up there. I will get back to you. I promise. I keep in touch with everybody that I deal with. Everybody. Hands down. So we're talking about we've been talking about, we're getting updates on Jamie's comment. She's talking about, yes, the parents get the rights terminated. They have to get new names and new social security numbers. They can't, we have a lot of information that we can't release for safety reasons, but it's happening and our judges and politicians are involved. So I would like to see, you know, like, of course they're involved. I would like to see to what level they're involved. I would like to expose it. I would like to bring our rights back. That's what we need to do. We've given them away so freely and ignorantly, we can't understand exactly where we're at. But Dick, you know me, and I am a very honest person and only speak truth. That has been my experience so far, and that has been greatly appreciated. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy because it's like, this is a system that people apply for and work for and are not even aware, and this is happening to their families, and then they're finding this shit out. Like she's saying right there, a lot of people don't know that a lot of judges have a lot to do with this shit. Like it's past somebody just going to school and becoming a profession. It's past that. But that's the image they're painting. Oh, go to college, become a lawyer, become a judge.
Dude,
get in the fucking process just for them to tell you, hey.
I hate to say it, but college is a waste of money, man. It's a waste of money. You know why? Because I can get the same education from the fucking public library for $2 library card. Straight up.
Yep.
Straight the fuck up. Okay?
Your kids gotta go live somewhere else. Your kid gotta come live here with us.
No,
come
but
to our school,
the point of why I'm saying that is like, you're right. It is so constructed and it's so constricting and it's so forced. Hey, Jennifer, thanks for joining us. Glad you're checking us out. Glad to have you. If you got anything you want to ask us, anything at all, any comments you want to make, please shoot them up. We're going to talk about them. We're talking about a lot of different stuff right now, involving the rights and the fundamentals been taken away from us and how we live in a free country. And, you know, it's so great to live in a free country, and it's only free as long as you do as the government pleases. So, it's, I don't know, man, like, I'm having a hard time accepting some of the shit that's going on. I really am. It's been grinding my gears, it's been pissing me off, and you have to fucking, my filter is thin enough as it is. You understand what I'm saying? It's my family has to deal with it. And I apologize from the depths of my heart. I really do. Because I know it's not the easiest thing. And sometimes I can be cold and I can be shrewd and I can be fucking just straight to the point and cut it off. And I do that. And I'm sorry about that and I apologize. This shit pisses me off. Pisses me off, man. I get really mad. But I'm able to retain myself. And I think about it logically, and I think about it rationally, and I'm trying to come up with a solution. And I'm not running for office. I'm not saying that I'm going to be your candidate, blah, blah, blah. I ain't going down that path. That's not what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. The point is, I'm trying to be, make an impactful difference that's going to actually have an impact that you are going to see firsthand. And I think what we've gotten accomplished in the first 3 months of this fucking show, starting from a simple idea where we're like, hey, let's talk about this on the radio. It'll be cool. We got the hookup, man. Yeah. And I think Hoodoo's level for it. They're awesome. They're a great crew over there. Mr. Hoodoo's, you're awesome. It's been amazing. It's been a great journey. I never thought I would take off like this. But now that we have this point where we can make something happen, it's time to make it happen. So that's why we're here. Haven't asked me anything. That's why we're here saying grind my gears. Because shit pisses me off. We want you to call in. Tell me what pisses you off, man. Tell me what pisses you off. Ask me anything. It could be about me. It could be for me. It could be about Wavy. You'll probably get a good answer. You know what I'm saying? But it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. But that's why, it's good for the people to hear that, and everybody who's watching and commenting and talking. It's good. This is the reason why, because we're doing this. We're not only bringing the entertainment to it, but we're bringing the real live shit that people want to talk about, that people want to hear, that people need to know about, that they're not going to tell you, that they're not going to allow you to see in certain areas. That's why, there's a bunch of people on here commenting from all different types of places.
We got Indiana going on. We got Brevard going on. We got We got
Everywhere.
Everywhere. It's
And
great,
they're all
man. It's
they're
fantastic.
all talking about the same shit. It's all relative. It's all relative in everybody's book. So it's like, man, it's a good thing that we have this platform, and I mean, we're able to do this and get up with these people like this.
You know, I think, one thing that's really been pissing me off, man, another thing's been grinding my gears, the prostitution of intellectual content. It's just retarded. Like, and I don't mean it in a piracy sense for copywriting and stuff like that for music, but I mean the way that we are prostitutionalizing certain words in our vocabulary
Right.
to limit and restrict the vision so much that it only leads you to one conclusion. And that's the conclusion that they're wanting to lead you to. Like, it's just absolutely asinine to me that people buy this shit all the time. Like, how do you fucking buy this? How do you not see this? Huh?
It's called the herd mentality.
The herds?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you heard the word?
Herd.
Bird.
That's all they do, man. It's like, oh yeah, you think that's cool? Yeah, that's kind of cool. Hey, they think that's cool. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Or you know, it's a bunch of motherfuckers think some shit's cool that
ain't fucking cool.
That
Like
ain't
snorting
cool.
condoms through your navel cavity and fucking eating and smoking pot cat, whatever the fuck they did. I don't even know because it's so
smoking
dumb.
pot. Nigga, wait a minute, what?
No, I didn't say smoking pot. I'm
Alright,
like,
don't be disrespectful.
eating the Tide Pods or whatever they were doing.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
stupid shit.
Yeah, come like, alright, you know what? You know what the fuck we did when we were younger? We fucking put some grass and some school paper, we rolled it up and we tried to fucking smoke that. That's the stupid shit we did. We didn't fucking eat Tide Pods, but we're sniffing condoms.
Yeah,
fucking
like
sheepskins and shit. We weren't doing none of that. None of that stupid shit, bro. Bath salt? No.
no, that shit is horrible.
No. Like, come on, bro. We went from that to smoking cigarettes. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all kids nowadays? I just want to know, like.
Hi Diana, thanks for joining us, man. It's great having everybody jump in there, man. It's been awesome. But you're right, dude. This shit is crazy. You know what else is crazy? Like, how many
Messing
schools?
around.
Yeah, digging around. We're crazily digging around here, so hope we're not too offended. Actually, I don't really give a dig. But no, I read an article, and the article I read, we have this whole anti-gun shit with Democrats and everything else, and then we have all the school shootings that's drumming up that anti-gun shit. But what we don't have is the fact that if you look at 98% of those school shooting cases, almost every one of those children or those involved in the school shootings were on some kind of antidepressant, some kind of big pharmaceutical, dealing with an issue of depression or something of that nature. I think my gut is telling me that the chemicals that are being ingested to put a Band-Aid on these problems is what's...
Yeah, but that's if they're even really getting this. Like, that could all just be a made-up part. All right. You know what? I watched the thing where they showed...
Of course, Jamie, anybody can call anytime you want.
You remember the
Hi, Deanna.
Sandy Hook school shooting?
Of course, it's in my fucking neighborhood, man.
Okay,
Florida,
well,
FLA.
they showed the kids that died in that school shooting and a whole other school shooting years later, the same fucking kids.
Right.
And it's just like, what the fuck? And the whole video was a government conspiracy thing about the shootings and shit like that.
No, I'm not listing this as a government conspiracy whatsoever. That's not the point of me bringing it up.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying that, you know, it could be the type of things that they're on because of antidepressants or whatever. But how do we even know that they're really even on anything? How do we know they're actors or they're, you know?
No, when I say something like that, I'm not like other people that interact with you in those things. Like, I actually look it up.
It kind of sounded like you
before.
were just like easing it out. Like, all right,
No,
well,
no,
it was just
no.
because he was on
This
this
is actual fact information with the prescription list showing what these people are on. And I'm not saying it's bad to be on these medications. I'm saying look at the reason why they got put on these medications. Was it really to address their issue? That's what the parents probably thought. But did they do anything outside of taking the medication to address the issue? Not much. Not much.
I don't know, man.
It's like a Band-Aid. It's kind of like the app that doesn't work. You know what I mean? We let our kids be run by apps. Anybody, Jamie, you can call in anytime. You grew up in a gun shop. That's fucking kick-ass. Here we go. Oh, call in. It was about to go. We'll try that one more time if they call back. If not, then I won't.
Yo. Nah, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't be believing shit because I've personally sat in the cell and seen cops build a case overnight with a fake fucking profile just to keep somebody in there longer. Like, so it's like, all right, could they just whip up some?
Hey, that number is
some records?
386-682-7278. 386-682-7278. You see it like not a conspiracy theory, but what?
Nah, it's not a conspiracy. I just don't believe you motherfuckers. That's all.
Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. But I think there's a lot of things that go on like that. I know there is something that's impacting the veterans specifically that has to deal with the malaria medication that they were required. Oh, we got a call coming in. I'm assuming it's going to be Jamie, so we'll go ahead and answer that. Hello.
Hey, Jack, it's Jason.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Talk to us about guns and growing up in a gun shop.
Ooh, that's embarrassing.
It's getting adjusted. You'll hear it. Are you there? Do you have good service?
I cannot hear you yet.
Oh, well,
Can you hear me?
can you hear? It doesn't. Do you have a delay? Are you doing two things at once?
It's on my phone.
Let me put my decoys on P here.
It's very white coming at you live from Daytona Beach.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right. Anyway,
We gotta fix that because
Uh,
Yeah, I can hear you.
you can hear us now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. See, I fixed it just like that. I don't dick around. Yeah.
So
All
what's
right.
up? Let's talk about guns.
Tell us about the gun shop, man.
So I grew up in a gun shop, and this stuff has really bothered me. Always constantly attacking the gun situation because I just have to say, I have had a gun in my hand since 3 years old. We grew up in a gun shop that was in the country. I had probably 500 guns at my access since I was 3. And
Right.
at one time did I ever think of going to shoot at my school.
Hey, today's a good day to shoot my school. You never had that thought?
I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, they continuously say, well, it's because they've asked for some things or because they were depressed or this and that. You know, I was a depressed kid too.
Yeah, so was I. But
But I
I
didn't think
didn't go
about
shoot
shooting at
my
my
school.
school.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, like through your experience and what you've seen, what do you think can push somebody to that?
But, you know, honestly, I just think it's the way that our kids are raised and the situations that we have.
Right.
Again, we're not allowed to spank our kids, so what do you think our kids go out and do?
Well, I don't know if you saw this, but we put a video on Facebook this past week where that kid basically smacked and not abused, but just straight punked that teacher over a cell phone. Like,
Oh, I saw that.
yeah, like, I'm sorry, man. If I take your phone and I tell you to sit down, one of two things are gonna happen. You're gonna do what I tell you, or you're gonna try to do what you did to that teacher, and you're gonna go to sleep for a little while. And that's just the way it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, but
I could never imagine talking to my teacher or treating my teacher like that, ever.
no, but I couldn't even
I don't
believe
know.
that the teacher didn't stand up for himself in the least. Like, what the shit? Are
I
you
didn't
kidding me?
see
Is
the
that the
video.
new man?
I didn't actually see the video, but
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I ain't finna let my teacher take my phone either.
But I
You
think
ain't just
that's
gonna
where
flash my
this
shit.
this
It's gonna
power.
I ain't taking it to keep it, but if you use it inappropriately and you ain't doing your shit right, you ain't following my instructions, you have to follow the instructions. I don't give a shit.
Motherfucker, come take my cell phone if you want to.
Man,
I will be at desk 3, row 7.
your
waiting
cell
for you to
phone
come.
don't
I'm
even
at
hold a
home
charge,
playing
man.
music.
His shit don't even hold a charge. Don't listen to that shit. So tell us about your gun shop. Tell us about your growing up experience. Like you never wanted to shoot nobody. You never wanted to do any of that shit, and like it's bothering you. But like, what specifically is it bothering you for? Is it the rights violations? Is it the ignorance? Is it the fact there's no vaccine for stupid? Is it like what is it?
Number 3.
It's ignorance. It's just ignorance. That the fact that people again blame a object.
You're right. They do
And
blame an
I know,
object.
some people are saying, well, if a car does damage, so we first take cars away from everybody.
Right. Well,
You know, it's just ignorance.
we
Again,
try
my
to take them away from the drunk
grandfather
people. We can't even get that shit right. So.
Huh?
I said we try to take them away from the drunk people, but we can never get that right.
Yeah, but the thing is that, you take these rights away, they're still going to be illegal, and the people that are using them are the ones that are getting them illegal anyway.
Exactly my point. It's
Most of
stupid.
the time.
And, like Jennifer Monroe says, if someone is crazy and wants to cause harm, they will find a way. It has nothing to do with the gun or the objects and the laws are changing or not.
Absolutely.
It comes down to primitive nature, man. That's the end of paragraph. That's what it is. It's primitive nature. It's the fact that someone creates this desire and they manifest it and they desire it so bad that their decisions drive their destiny to go get the gun and do what they want to do. You can't stop
Yep.
them. You're not going
They're
to.
going to fight something else. Like she said, they're going to fight a knife, they're going to fight a stitch recorder to choke you with, they're going to use a fist, they're going to do whatever.
They need to attack the influence and stop attacking the guns.
I'll tell you what the guns did for me.
What the gun do for you?
Gunshot for me was how I learned responsibility, how
Right.
I learned about money,
Right.
how I learned about respect.
Right.
I mean, I used to go in there
So,
and vacuum like.
I'm sorry, but like I
missed.
missed the whole gun teaches me money class. I didn't sign up for that in college.
What?
You said you learned about money and all this stuff because of the gun. I was like, I missed the whole gun teaching money class. I totally fucking
Well,
missed
that's because
it.
my grandpa, if I wanted to shoot him, I had to clean the gun shop. If I wanted money, I had to clean the gun shop.
Okay. Now we're getting to the
gun shop
point.
was my grandpa.
That's what I wanted to hear. We're getting to the point. He gave you a sense of
Yeah.
responsibility in the handling of that gun. He didn't just make it cool about waving it around in a fucking rap video or some whatever shit you see. And a country video they do it too.
I'm about to say, they got pistols in country videos.
That's
too,
what I just
motherfucker.
said, man. That's what I just said. So it goes both ways. I'm not singling it to shit. What I'm saying is, you see it a lot of places. The one that I liked was the one we saw the other day, where the kid rapped about why he shouldn't pull the trigger on that gun, and the guy put it back in the trunk. That was a good statement. You know what I mean? Not all the other shit that drives it out like that. So I'm glad that you grew up with a positive experience. I'm glad that you got the sense of responsibility and the sense of ownership and the sense of understanding what it means to be a responsible gun owner.
Absolutely. I just thought I'd share that with you guys again. That I just don't think that guns get the fairest reputation.
So what's grinding your gears then? What's really grinding your gears? What's pissing you off lately?
What's what?
What's the one thing that's been pissing you off more than anything right now? Like what really is grinding your freaking gears right now?
You know what's grinding my gears.
Well, tell me what's grinding your gears, because not all the listeners know, and we're having to grind my gears. And you, not telling me, is grinding my gears, said Hal and Matt Murphy.
Alright, so
Speak!
tell us.
What's grinding your gears?
Like I said, I have to unfortunately, today was grinding my gears with bullying. We have such a huge bullying thing going on in our group, and unfortunately I feel like that tears apart a movement, and that's been probably the worst thing today that I've been dealing with.
Tearing apart from the internal struggles, so to speak?
Mhm.
Tearing apart the internal struggles, fighting over shit in the organization?
Yeah, I mean, not mine per se, but the movement.
Right,
Unfortunately, when you deal with abuse of power, politics, things like that, it's so stressful, and the abuse of power tears people down. You know, I have one of the biggest whistleblowers here in the state
Right.
that I just heard they want to give up because they've been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed by these.
Don't
powerful
ever
people that-
give up. Don't do it. Don't ever give up. If you're listening, don't give up.
I agree. You know, I
Welcome,
have
Adam.
no place for the fight for me. I don't have any stakes. I don't have any kids in the system. I don't have that, but there's no way I'd ever give up.
Right. Well, tell your friend don't give up, because that's the worst thing you'll ever do. You'll regret it the rest of your life, and then you'll think about what it could have been and what instead of what should have been or what was, because you didn't make it happen. Straight up real
I
talk.
agree.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to say, well, Jamie, I want to say thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. We got more comments to address. We have new people watching, and thank you for sharing with us. Please keep us
Hey,
up to date.
David, good to talk to you.
All right. You have a great night, and keep us up to date what's going on in Indiana, all right?
As always, be blessed.
All
Take
right.
care.
You too. Bye. Again, I want to say thank you to the callers. And I want to say welcome, Adam. And Jennifer, I want to read Jennifer's comment. She says, a lot of young people haven't even developed a conscience, basically. I'm sorry, I'm having a problem spelling. Okay, I caught it now. I got you. Hey, it happens to me too. Don't worry about it.
This guy.
And they are really emotionally messed up. So, do you think the lack of stability in America is making them messed up, and the influence and lack of stability in certain homes and things of that nature is making them messed up? Like, what is it that's grinding your gears about this and making you say such things?
What would make you say such things?
What you mean by that there, Wavy? What? They're emotionally messed up. I think I don't know that they're emotionally messed up. I think there's a failure to communicate. Like, I was talking to a corporate executive the other day, and we were having lunch, and it was a great time. He was a good dude, and we were talking about some issues that he's seen across the entire work spectrum, and speaking with his contractors and things like that. And he was talking about how there are some millennials out there, the vast majority of them, who seem to carry this sense of entitlement, and make more excuses about why it doesn't get done or what they need to do, and how it can be more productive and talk about everything but don't actually do anything. So, and Jennifer, she's commenting right along. She says, absolutely, there's a lot of dysfunction. And I think there's a lot of disfusion amongst the ranks too, because
yeah, I just don't think that it's emotional, only because nowadays the whole world, not just the kids, not just the whole world is ran off of influence. So their influence.
What kind of influence are you talking about?
Persuasion, influence, the same shit.
But where is the influence coming from?
It's coming from where they work, it's coming from where they go to school, it's coming from what they watch, what they listen to, it's coming from what they hear their parents doing, saying, watching, listen to. It's all of that. It comes from a lot of things. It's not really emotional because kids are not growing up how we grew up. We grew up differently. I grew up differently from you. You're a little bit older, Grandpa. And,
hey man, I'm not the old dick here. Don't talk about that.
The old dick bag.
Yeah. So it's just, that would have been the case 15, 20 years back, you could say that. But nowadays the kids are so influenced and technology is so strong. It's everywhere. You literally can't stop your kids from coming in contact with all these things that parents probably wouldn't agree their kids come in contact with. You just can't stop it anymore. It's everywhere. So it's a big influence.
Yeah, but like, how much of this is okay, literally there's an app for just about everything, right? So, like, how much have parents, do you think, or have you seen, put off their responsibilities on this new said technology that's supposed to be the best thing for humankind?
All the time. I mean, all the time. You go to somebody's house and walk in, 9 times out of 10, their kids sitting there on a phone, a tablet, or playing a game.
iPad, stupid shit like that.
Something. Like, your kids are not a part of the family because they're so stuck. Like, my kids didn't watch TV that much. They've been watching TV, and when they look at the TV, it's like they're fucking zombies. Like, I can talk to them like, hey boy. And
it take you like TV, 12 fucking times to call their name before they answer, right?
I gotta go over there and make myself known. Like, man, I'm here. Remember me? And it's just crazy. Like, it has them zoned out and so stuck in it, and they memorize the songs and all this, and the kid can't remember what the hell they ate in school today or what they learned today at school, but they can remember the
What do you think about the no homework shit?
It's, that is like
they
unfair, okay? Let me say this.
Desensitized.
The child side of me says that is very unfair because I had to do homework every damn day after school except for Fridays.
That's very childish. Very childish. Very childish.
These kids come home and they got no homework ever. You little spoiled.
You little sons of bitches.
Kids,
These little sons of bitches, this bullshit.
Little assholes.
This bullshit, and they're teaching them this Common Core thing. And
And then
That Common Core is
what?
not so common amongst the older folk, I'll tell you that.
What do you do when they get home? Make them do some chores, and then you can't tell them to do their homework, so they're gonna end up sitting out in front of the TV or getting on the game or in the phone. Like, well, I got no fucking homework. Bring the homework back. Hashtag homework.
Homework. We should make a song.
Get self-medicated shit. I'm doing self-medicated shit. Shit, right on.
Word. Word.
But yeah,
I don't know, man. I think for all the shortcomings that are going on right now, and all the shortcomings we talk about, and these candidates talk about, and everybody's talking about, but nobody's doing anything about, I think all these shortcomings, most of the citizens seem deeply committed to. They do. Like, oh, you say something different, I can pay you no mind. You're not worth my time. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but hey, we're just dicking around.
I'll just put my nose up here.
Shebang.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's what it is. I ain't gonna say that. That's what I feel it is with the kids, man. It's just a big influence. Adults too. Adults are major influence. Adults are the ones that are paying for
Do you
these tickets.
Do you think citizens have been long disillusioned with politics?
Say it again.
Do you think citizens have been long disillusioned with politics?
Well, yeah, long disillusion. I would say it's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean, do you think citizens are growing restless and angry with the shit that's going on right now?
I think they've been like that, but still nobody's doing nothing, so it doesn't really matter.
You're right. I mean, you got guys standing off in different state parks and state forests. What was the last one up in Oregon or something? And having the FBI standoff about the federal land thing, and you have other groups in Indians protesting pipelines for oil and all this stuff. You know, all this unrest and all the capitalists. I'm not saying that capitalism is a terrible thing. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that we might be a little misbalanced in the way that we're doing stuff at the moment. You know, like we're sending I'm all about helping people. But I think if we took the time to take care of ourselves for a moment of history, we might be able to better take care of everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, if we really take the time and we focus on ourselves and we focus on our country, and we reshape the ideas that we originally founded on, not in the way that they're going right now, but the way that they were originally intended to be.